Hey, it's Cy Blackburn here, and in today's video, we're going to go into the science of pricing. Should you attract high-ticket clients or low-ticket clients, and what is the scientific evidence behind both of them? So let's start off by defining what is a high-ticket client versus what is a low-ticket client. So a high-ticket client is typically any client where you're charging between $2,000 and $8,000 for a coaching program. A low-ticket client is where you're charging anything between $100 to $500 for a coaching program. Now we have to get into a few different aspects here. The first one is income. Now if we look at, let's say a goal of yours is to make $100K in your first year as a coach. So what does that look like for a high ticket client versus a low ticket client? Well, if we look at high ticket clients, this is how many you'll need. So let's say you're charging $8K for a coaching program. Now, in order to make $100K a year, you need about 12 and a half clients, right, in order to make those numbers. So let's say 13 as a round number. Not too many. Now, what about low ticket clients? Let's say you're charging about $200 for your coaching program at the low ticket level. Now that would mean that you would need about 500 clients to make that 100K a year. But there is something that we haven't considered here: the actual cost of getting the client in the first place. Now if you look at a high ticket client, typically you need about $1,000 in order to generate a client at $8,000, and we're covering exactly how to do that in the next set of videos. For this model, it's $1,000. So that's typically how much the cost of generating a client at the $8,000 level is. However, at the $200 level, what do you think that is? Statistically, you're looking at about a 50% cost rate. So it's about $100 to get one $200 client. So all of a sudden, instead of having to get 500 clients to get that $100,000 yearly, we need 1,000. And in order to get that 100,000 yearly here, we really only need an additional 1 to 2 clients. So when you look at that, right, we're talking 13 to 15 clients versus 1,000 clients, which is actually easier to get? Well, it's infinitely easier to get one client at $8,000 than it is to get 50 clients at $200. Obviously, with the cost, that would mean you would need 100 clients in order to make the same amount. So from an income point of view, the low ticket client model really does not make sense. So why do people do it? Well, let's go into the next level. What about the way that they behave? If we look at high ticket clients versus low ticket clients. So you really have to look into the psychology of somebody that's invested a huge amount in their personal growth versus somebody that's invested just a little bit. Obviously, when you look at the psychology of somebody that's invested a large amount in their personal growth, they take responsibility for that growth. They're going to do the homework that you set. They're going to make sure that they show up on time for every single one of your coaching programs or coaching sessions, and they're going to action it as well. They also share their results. Statistically, high-ticket clients shout more than they complain, in the sense of they shout about their results. They tell other people. You'll find that you get far more referrals here, far more testimonials at the high-ticket level than you do at the low-ticket level. What you'll also find is that the upsell potential is huge. Now, what does upsell actually mean? It means the ability to sell another program to the same audience. Now, why is that? Because it seems a little bit illogical. If they've already invested so much, why would they want to invest again? Understand that somebody that invests so much in their personal growth is willing to invest those high ticket price. Now, if you have another coaching program which makes sense and deals with a different issue that their client is experiencing, the willingness that they have to actually spend an additional amount increases massively. So you'll find that they actually sign up for higher and more expensive programs than the low ticket client. Now, the way a low ticket client behaves is they have a sense of entitlement. They believe that you should give them everything and they should just show up and you'll spoon feed them absolutely everything. So what you'll find is by taking on low ticket clients, they give up easily. And I'm sure that anybody here that's experienced having 50 or 100 low ticket clients over the course of their coaching career will know that they give up at the drop of a hat, or the drop of something which proves to be a little bit challenging. What you'll also find is it's impossibly difficult to get testimonials out of these people. They complain loudly. When something goes wrong, that's when they shout and scream. But when something goes right, they may not even compliment you. They may not even tell you. You'll also find that the leap in terms of a low ticket client to a high ticket client, meaning an upsell, is very difficult for them. The likelihood of you generating more clients on future programs from a low ticket client is infinitely harder than a high ticket client. So really then, why do people actually even go for low ticket clients versus high ticket clients? Well, there are two ultimate reasons. The first reason is they don't know how to generate the high ticket clients, and that we're covering in an additional video called the perfect funnel for high ticket clients. So look out for that. And number two is they don't know how to deliver to a high ticket client. Now, if you're doing one-on-ones and you're selling high ticket, the expectations are much higher than a low ticket. So you need to get your ability to deliver that content down packed. Now, if you watched the previous video where I talked about group coaching, there is the high ticket coaching model in that video. But I'm going to give you a brief overview. Now, remember, when it comes to delivering a high ticket program, you have the high ticket anatomy, which is split into three parts. You have the 80%, which is repetitive content, the 20%, which is changing content, and the momentum. All of these three things you need to factor in when it comes to delivering to a high ticket client. Now, the 80% of repetitive content, if you haven't watched the previous video, go and watch it. But there we talk about 80% of your content being the same from client to client. Now, the way that you handle that with a high ticket client is by delivering that repetitive content through an online membership site. Then you've got the 20% of content which changes from client to client. Now, the way that you deal with that is by having the weekly Q&As that you invite your clients to. This allows you to deal with different people's issues as and when they come up. And the third issue with a high ticket program is you need to keep momentum high. Now, the way to do this is by creating that high ticket private community. Now, you can do it on WhatsApp. You can also do it on Facebook. I recommend that you use Facebook because Facebook, people log into it 5 times a day. So you get far more engagement, far more interaction using a Facebook group than you do on any other community statistically. So the high ticket anatomy really comes down to who do you want to serve? Low ticket clients or high ticket clients? But the next stage is once you've made that decision for yourself, you have to ask, how do I get those clients? How do I attract them? How do I make sure that they are coming to me and actually wanting to buy what I have? And for that, I'm going to teach you in the next video all about funnel building.